Looks like we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first stream that we're doing in a new series that's going to be in a playlist called Vibe Coding at 5 a.m. And as you guys know, I did this a couple weeks ago as I was, basically it was like work with me at 5 a.m. But this is going to be Vibe Coding at 5 a.m. And something that I want to say before we get started here is just the importance of waking up early and getting your day started off right with productivity and things that are early wins early in your day. I think that's very, very important. In our case, we're going to be using this morning, you guys can see the title of the video, we're going to be working on that AWS deployment. And as you guys know, we deployed the View Creator update to the dev server. So if I go to dev and go to dev.viewcreator.ai, we now can see our updates that have now been shipped to the AWS dev servers. But there are a couple issues that we're having, most of them related to just like environment variables. So, what we need to do now is we need to be able to go back through and actually identify, okay, where are the issues with this? Where are the bugs in our AWS Infra, and how can we fix this? So Yusuf, what's up? Welcome back to the stream. So I'm gonna be grinding this morning. I'm not gonna be doing as much commentary as my normal streams. As you guys know, I'll be streaming today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Vibe Coding and Apps Until I Make $1 Million series. So that's gonna be, where I'm gonna be doing a lot more commentary. In this stream, what you guys are gonna see is just genuinely me trying to solve bugs and fix errors and lock in, because I woke up about like 25 minutes ago. So I'm just drinking coffee. You guys can grind along with me. I encourage that you do, but let me do a couple things on my end to get the stream started, and then we'll get started right away. Sal, welcome. How's it going? All right, let's get started. I got my coffee. An issue that I'm seeing that I was having yesterday that I know that I need to fix is essentially when I go to sign in, I know this doesn't work, but I do think it goes through. But here, I'll just show you guys a good example. I think we need to first pull up the AWS. Let me pull up my AWS infrastructure in my other monitor, just so I can see what's happening in the console logs, because I know for a fact that there's just a couple things that are a little bit off. So we're gonna find what those are. Also, if you guys are just tuned in, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're just gonna make today a great day. And one interesting thing that I will say, just about, waking up early and being able to get things done early in the day, is that I remember when I was 19 years old, I was in college, and I had a roommate that would wake up at, he had like a 7:30 class, so he'd have to wake up at 7 a.m., right? And I remember that at that young age, how early that was for us, right? It was like, oh wow, dude, like you're waking up at 7 a.m., like that's tough. And I think that over time, the ultimate goal is to just, as you get older, to better discipline yourself so that you can make more progress in life. And that's my goal. And that's what I've seen personally, is just that, if you can shape things up to the point where, you can get to the point where you actually enjoy doing that, I think that's a good thing. Sam said that it's embarrassing that this guy is up streaming and I'm still in bed. He's 5 hours behind me. Well, get up, Sam. Let's go, man. It's literally not an option for me whether or not I get up and grind. I just don't even make it an option. It's a requirement. It's a requirement of greatness. And as you guys know, I want to be great, truly. So here's our dev servers. And for example, if I go to start free trial, I'll just show you guys the problem that I'm noticing. So let's say I choose the pro plan here, right? Well, if I go and I do bridge mine apps plus this, because that's the email that is allowed to actually sign up, and I actually sign in, it says sign up failed, try a different email. So we need to figure out what's going on there. Dwayne said you're on the right path, sir. My hat's off to you. Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah, I mean, it's just this thinking that, hey, if you can disconnect, like, obviously most of you guys know, I'm assuming that about our mission, and the way I look at it is, the mission is completely disconnected from, when you're early on doing something, you're trying to make progress. I do believe that you have to disconnect it from, like, let's say that a tracker, right? Like, what's your scoreboard, right? Having a scoreboard is very important. And something that I always ask is like, okay, my scoreboard early in this journey cannot be the revenue. It can't be revenue right now. What it has to be is how many hours I put in and do I show up every day? And I think that's my personal scoreboard. Like for me, it's how many hours did I put in today? What time did I wake up? Was I lazy or was I disciplined? And that's something that I've been doing since I was, a teenager. And I'll tell you what, it was not always like that. I was always driven, but I definitely had to train. I remember that when I first got started, I would have to write down on a whiteboard. I would have to say, I would say, okay, it's a goal of mine to work for 3 hours today, right? And that was when I was in my very early 20s, and I would write that down. Sam Stone said, another day, another dollar being made. Let's go, Sam. Astonic said, we early today, W grind. Yep, we're grinding, let's get it. I spend about $500 on AWS per month right now. And yeah, AWS is expensive, but I use it just because that's what I've used at other startups, and I'd rather use something that I'm more familiar with that is, really robust. Not saying that any other cloud providers aren't robust, it's just that AWS, if you guys have used the AWS console, it is really nice. So, okay, so I need to go over my logs. You guys can't see what I'm working with in, over in AWS, but I do have it pulled up. Sennheiser, how's it going? Welcome back. He said, early wake up today. Glad to see you again. Yeah, I wake up around this time every day. It's just that I am going to restart this series where I'm going to be vibe coding for 1 hour in the mornings just to knock out some easy tasks. I guess not easy, the task that we're working on right now isn't even easy. Okay, so I found this error and I want to show it to you guys. So yeah, let me show you guys the error that we're getting in AWS because this now makes sense. So here's what we're looking at. This is in the logs. So this is in the logs. Yeah, so at the level warn, sign in blocked, email not in the allowed list. So the reason that we're getting that problem is because the email that we're trying to sign up with is not in the email allowed list. So we're gonna have to take a look at that and fix that. It looks like the prod cluster is spinning up for some reason. Oh. Yeah, Sam, it was personal for myself. All right, so let's launch Cursor. I I got to figure out what's going on. We got a couple things in AWS, and what's nice, if you guys didn't know this, you know, we can actually use Cursor to access our AWS account. So if you guys didn't know, you can set up, you know, the AWS CLI on your computer. And what you can do then is you can actually then have it kind of diagnose problems that are happening in AWS via Cursor. And it's actually very good at it. And that's now how I mainly actually use that tool. So it's pretty cool. I would highly recommend it. So I'm gonna launch the agent window here. So where, okay, it's right here. So yeah, I'm actually just gonna, you guys are gonna hear me prompt it, but I can't show it to you just cause, yeah. All right, Astonik asked, how long will you stream today? That's a great question. So I'm actually going to be streaming. So this is how this is gonna work. So I'm gonna start this series, Vibe Coding at 5 a.m., where essentially I'm gonna be working on a specific task. This morning we're deploying AWS Infra and solving dev bugs that are happening in the dev servers, because later on today, when we actually have our day 58 Vibe Coding an App to $1 million series, we're gonna make sure that this is actually ready to start testing and deploying. So I'll be streaming for just about an hour this morning, and then I'm gonna do my workout, my normal daily routine, read some books, study up, do some early morning work, and then I'll be live again at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 5 hours from now. What's up, Hong? Let's lock in. Maxiology said, good to see you cooking early. Need to take a leaf out of your book. Yeah, let's go, man. Let's grind. Using the View Creator profile on my computer, access the AWS CLI, and I need you to diagnose a couple of different issues that I'm currently having in my project. One being, review the prod API service and figure out why there are a bunch of tasks that are failing to deploy on this. Not sure why this is happening, as all of a sudden it started doing this. So I need you to diagnose, don't update anything, but just diagnose the issue and figure out what is happening with the prod API. You can review the logs, you can review the service that's running, you can review the task definition, just diagnose what's happening and let me know what you see. Okay. Rito said, what time did you wake up? I woke up at 4:40 a.m. So I just woke up, grabbed a cup of coffee, jumped on the stream. This is pretty normal for me, to be honest. I just don't usually stream at this time. But actually, this is a new series that I'm going to start up, Vibe Coding at 5 a.m. And then pretty much this series is going to be mainly for just early morning grinding, knocking out a couple early morning tasks, and then you know, obviously our Vibe Coding App to $1 million series is gonna, you know, stay the same, start at 10 a.m. every day. AI Linux TV, how's it going? Astonik said, I'm planning to buy another AI coding tool besides Codex, but I don't know which one to get. Would you recommend buying Claude Max Plan over Cursor Ultra Plan? I heard Claude is the best coding tool so far. I actually would recommend Cursor. It's a different, you know, it's a different tool. It's a different UI. I would get used to using the IDE tools as well. They're pretty good. So if you already have Codex, I would recommend Cursor. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. And I'm actually going to drop the link to the Discord just in case anybody in here has not already joined the Discord. I'm going to drop a link to it here in chat and pin it. Make sure that you join the community. I'm doing good this morning, AI Linux. How about you? All right, just pin the Discord. Make sure you join in if you haven't already. It's a community of vibe coders, tech people, AI people, and grinders. All right. Using the View Creator profile, I need you to use the AWS CLI to access my AWS account. And I need you to diagnose the most recent console logs in CloudWatch for the dev API. There are a few environment variables that are missing in the task definition because we recently added them. And I need you to take a look at the View Creator API and identify what environment variables those actually are. Also, do a complete diagnosis. Don't update anything, but just do a diagnosis and figure out why is my sign up failing, and help me figure that out. Yeah, I'm already hitting my my Cursor Ultra limits in 2 days, only 2 weeks in. All right. So while we're doing that, let's also work on some like local code in Codex. So I have on my other monitor, I'm working on essentially AWS stuff, and then on this one we'll work on some local code stuff. Loopless said, were you always hardworking and locked in, or it happened eventually? Yes, that's a good question. So I kind of answered that a minute ago. You know, and my perspective on it is that like I've always, it's kind of like in my DNA of like my personality type is what's called an architect. It's not this personality test that I've taken, and the personality type is called an architect. It's essentially somebody that is like very hardworking. But the thing is I 100% was not always like that. Like I would say that I started out, you know, at the ground floor like everybody else, right? It's like when I started out, I remember setting goals for myself to work, or essentially like, I remember setting goals to program for 3 hours. Fix this error in the view creator UI that I got on this page. And I remember that vividly. I remember setting goals for myself, like literally on a notebook like I do now. My goals now are completely different. But I do remember setting goals for myself that would be like, hey, today, what can I do to make today successful, right? What do I need to do to make today great so that I can feel good about it and feel like I made progress in life? And, you know, I would write down code for 3 hours. And that was when I was still at Purdue studying finance early on. But I do remember, you know, writing that down as a goal, and it was actually pretty hard to hit it, to focus like that. But now it's like, once you get better at something, it actually does motivate you more to do it, you know, because it's like when you first get started, it's like a video game, right? Like you start out playing a video game and you're like a total noob and you're getting like absolutely crushed by people that have been playing for a while and are better than you. Certified Dripper, what's up? And, you know, it's just interesting that, you know, as that changes, as you get better at something, it actually does motivate you more. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, update the Docker file respectively. But do not push the code to GitHub. I will handle this. Kevin Newman for life. What's up, man? Welcome back to the stream over on Twitch. Appreciate you showing up on Twitch, man. Need to grow that channel, that platform. So I appreciate you. Yeah, we're doing a Vibe 20 at 5 a.m. session. This is going to be a daily thing now. And then, but that's not going to affect, like I normally wake up at this time, so you guys are just kind of seeing me in my normal environment. I normally wake up at this time. I usually will do like some reading and writing and some deep thinking in the morning, and then maybe knock out like a task or two, and then also work out is normally what I do. So I'm just going to add in like essentially an hour of work every morning and share it with you guys to help, you know, build the community and keep everything that we've got going. And then also, like, it's not going to affect any of our other normal streams. So also, if you guys are just tuned in, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. You said try Neo-Brutalism library. I haven't tried that. I use ShadCN. I'm pretty happy with it. The Gato Meow, good morning, let's go. Let's grow, guys, let's grind. All right, so I just figured out why that potentially is failing. The problem is we can't push that yet. I'm not gonna push anything to production yet. We'll probably do that later on today. All right, so it looks like it did figure out what this issue is, so we'll just kind of read it together. So the front end is sending a role field that the API rejects, missing environment variables. 22 variables are referenced in code, but missing from the task definition. So, you know, the turnstile allowed host names. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Okay. do another in-depth look just to check again on the env vars. But also note, review what's actually being sent on the front end and identify what needs to be being sent. Because, for example, users sign up either as a creator or a sponsor. So review the actual code and figure out what we need to do, whether we need to update the front end UI or the backend API to properly get this working. And then also identify, for example, which env vars we actually need to add to the task definition, and then help me to add placeholders for now, just so that we're not getting issues. One thing to note is that Turnstile should not be required except for, oh, it's because the node env is production, isn't it? Okay, that's why that's happening. Okay, guys, I get it. I know it's happening. All right, that's all right. We'll figure that out. Okay, so run. I am getting this error still. Review this in depth and identify what you need to do to actually fix it. Make sure also that you, all right, wait, hold up. Oh shoot, Whisper Flow. Create the page for the agent run page. Right now, it's just skeleton loading, random UI. It doesn't actually have a user interface. Fix this. All right. Kevin Newman for Life asked, what time zone are you in? Sorry, I missed that. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so yeah, it's 5:22 a.m. Yusuf said, you have grit. Grit is the intersection of unwavering passion for a long-term goal with the stubborn resilience to see it through no matter the setbacks. Yeah, that pretty much describes what I feel, for sure. All right, so Turnstile, we need to figure out this Turnstile issue, because essentially what's happening is we have Turnstile set up. So as you guys know, Cloudflare has Turnstile, and Turnstile is essentially an invisible, CAPTCHA. And it's great because, you essentially have this invisible CAPTCHA that you can then use to be able to configure things. Let me see here. Let me find, where is this Turnstile? Okay, so I can see the Turnstile. I'm going to grab another cup of coffee, guys. So I'll be back in just a minute. But if you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Damson said, what tools are you using? I'm using Codex over here on the left, and then I also use Cursor, so I have Cursor on the right that you guys can't see, but that's awesome, Kevin. Let's go. We're grinding. All right, so we're gonna fix this. It looks like we also have some errors happening in the agent run, so we'll fix that. Okay. Okay, do another in-depth look. Okay, so I'm actually gonna have to drop in some stuff here, and I'm gonna show this to you guys, essentially what I'm working on. So, you know, we have to fix this because, you know, when you have, we're kind of treating dev like staging right now. And that actually probably isn't the best practice. So usually when you're setting up AWS infrastructure, you'll usually set up 3 different environments, right? So you'll set up an environment called dev or development, and essentially you'll set that up. And on this dev environment, you know, you'll set the production, the node env to development, right? And then you'll have another set of infrastructure that's called staging. And with staging is an exact mirror of production. And the node environment variables will actually link up kind of like with production, so that you can go from dev to staging. In dev, you're able to figure out any errors that may happen, like just in the infrastructure itself. And then if that works, it moves to production, to staging, so that you can actually test like, okay, that's an exact mirror of production, so test it in staging. And we only have development, so that's like an issue that we have. And something that I want to do is right now we're kind of treating dev as staging. So, you know, the issue that I have with this is, for example, with Turnstile, if you evaluate the Turnstile logic, you can see that, you know, it's only set up if the node env is actually equal to production. Matthew Chang, how's it going? Lotfi, how's it going? Yep, Lotfi said it right in chat. Hugh, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Yusuf said, why are you not streaming on Twitch? Because of ads and sub. You could also ask Rumble or Kick for a deal. It would help you a lot. Yeah, so I'm using Restream, and I'm streaming on Twitch, X, YouTube, and Kick. You know, but one thing to remember is that, hey, for me, you know, the ultimate goal is the mission, right? It's like, and I say this a lot, so you know, most of you guys that watch the streams get it, but the mission is not for me to become a content creator. The mission for me is the mission. Like, it genuinely is the mission. I think that that's why our community and, you know, everything that we're doing is so strong, is because I think people can tell, right? I mean, it's pretty easy to tell if somebody is really trying to achieve a goal, or if they're essentially just BSing and they just want views. And my goal is not to become a content creator. I have no interest in that. I don't want to do that. I just genuinely love vibe coding and building things and starting companies and creating. And I was doing this long before I started these channels. And I have no interest in becoming a content creator. I just want to share that this is possible and show people what you can do and inspire others while I'm pursuing the mission. Awakened, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. So if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so, because it does help support the mission. I would like to change the node env in the dev API task definition to development. Where's the extra logo in the sidebar? Chief Mango, what are you talking about? Yeah, Yusuf. That's right. I'm okay. Don't worry about me, man. I would tell you guys, if I was struggling, I'd be like, guys, we're gonna have a fundraiser. Nah, I'm good, man. All right, so I need to go to the API now, and I'm just gonna drop in the whole thing. And essentially what I need to do is I also need to drop in the sign up logic from the sign up and sign in logic here in auth. And I can actually show this to you guys. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So over here, essentially what we need to do is we need to fix this. So I have the agent. This is the Cursor agent window, which is essentially like, this is why I recommend Cursor, is because Cursor is going to develop into something that I think people are not seeing yet, right? I think that people are going to see kind of what this turns into just over time. But I have like full faith that Cursor is definitely going to get a lot better, a lot better. All right, so I'm going to use max mode on this. Yeah, I'm going to use max mode, and we're going to get this solved. Good morning, Matt. How's it going? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sam Stone said next stream, he's under a bridge homeless at 5 a.m. coding on ChatGPT pre-plan. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna grab my coffee, guys. I'll be right back. So this is working on the agent run, and then we're looking at our, essentially our update over here on the left. Okay. But yeah, so my plan is today, I'm going to work for at least another 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go on a 4-mile run. I think that running in the morning helps you clear your mind, does release your body's endorphins so that you can actually make the day productive. Usually I am an avid reader, so I like to read, I like to write. I think those are good for self-growth. I don't believe in anything that is wasting your time. That's one thing that, you know, when I was in college, that I genuinely grew just a very big dislike for it. Okay. So we're kind of treating dev as staging, which is fine. But can you take a look at the code and answer me this? If the Turnstile secret is missing, what happens? Does it just make it so that Turnstile is not required? Because right now, I don't know if you knew this, but you cannot set Turnstile up with multiple subdomains. Like I can't set it up at dev.api.viewcreator. So Turnstile is not an option to set up for this project. So could you tell me yes or no? Yes meaning if I leave it out, it won't require it on sign up. No being that if I leave it out, it's going to cause issues. Yes or no? All right, pretty easy answer there. Yusuf said, we ain't doing Mafiathon, we doing Vibrathon. Anyways, I'm going to the gym now, gang. I think I'm going to come back again in a few hours. Yep, Yusuf, I'm going to be streaming at 10 a.m., so I'll be back. Chief said, could you show light mode? Yeah, here's light mode. Yeah, light mode looks pretty good. When we did that refactor, it was great because when we initially built View Creator, we had it just totally in Tailwind. And I didn't use ShadCN initially. And it was really tough because the project got so large to the point where, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so it says yes. If you remove the Turnstile secret key, Turnstile will not be required and sign up will work fine. Okay. Okay, good to know. I want to leave this out of the environment variables in the task definition then, because I essentially do not want to integrate Turnstile into dev. Update the diagnosis report accordingly. All right, music just turned off for me to turn off for you guys. No, I think that's something that's so weird when that happens. I don't understand why it's happening. All right. Plug it back in. There we go. We're back. Yeah, nice, Chief Mango. Yeah, ShadCN is definitely kind of like the best thing to be using. Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, make sure you do so, because we are grinding. We've got a great community. And yeah, I mean, I think that the reason that this community is so engaged and so together is because we're all working towards a mission. And a lot of you guys are working on, obviously, your own missions and your own goals. And I think that, you know, it's pretty easy to tell for people that I am not trying to BS you guys. You know, I'm genuinely focused on my mission. I'm focused on my goal, and the mission is the mission. And we're just going to keep going until we achieve it. All right. Okay, great. I now need you to implement the diagnose and fix, and I now need you to properly update AWS Dev API task definition and update any code that also needs to be updated, and let me know when it's all complete, and provide me a summary of what you did. All right, so we are actually now using Cursor to essentially go into our AWS infrastructure and now solve these issues that we're having. Sammy with Code, welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Good to see you. If you guys are just tuned into the stream, make sure you like and sub. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Big shout out to Hugh for joining the Discord. I saw that you joined. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the community. Also, shout out to Hossein. Shout out to Hossein. Thank you for joining. Shout out to JJJ. Welcome. Okay. So over here, we're working on agents, but over on my right monitor, you guys can't see this because there's a ton of secret keys that I'm working with right now, so I can't show it on stream. But essentially what we are doing is we are now integrating all this logic into the dev server so that we can actually get dev working. Okay. Note that Sentry does not need to be set up in dev. You can remove those environment variables. All right, so this is about to spin up. So I'm over now. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. For Caleb Waleed asked, did you try coding with Gemini 2.5? I did when it came out, but it's not really a competitive coding model anymore. No, Chief, I don't use local models. I don't think they're as good. Or, you know, also not, the tooling on them isn't as good either. 100% tooling's not as good. All right. Note that total runs just says NAN. Would you take a look at the API and actually integrate the logic so that it returns the user's total runs for the authenticated user? Create this endpoint in the API and then hook it up to the front-end UI. All right, so this is an area where like this is a little bit more risky for these two, just because they're working on like some of the same files. So this is where I would be a little bit more careful, just on like, hey, be careful that you don't spin that up and have those agents overlap each other, because that would not be good. Looks like our AWS Infra is now hooked up. Update is done. So let me go over here. And so it says it's about to kind of generate a summary for me, so I'll let you guys know what it says. Shout out to Hugh for joining the Discord. All right. Oh, YRT said, I missed some stream sessions, I guess. So is Creator Platform a kind of influencer marketing? Cool idea. Ticket Cord, what's up? How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. So, so to answer your question, so Creator Platform is part of the refactor that we did. We're now going to be onboarding sponsors onto the platform. And essentially, what this is for is UGC campaigns. So you guys can read this here and, essentially learn a little bit about that program. But this is going to be released in the upcoming update. People are going to be able to enroll in this program. And then the first brands that are going to be coming on are obviously ViewCreator and BridgeMind. And because we need help in generating user-generated content and having people essentially create accounts that are related to BridgeMind and ViewCreator and actually helping us post content that can, go viral. Gianna said, hello from Germany. I wanted to ask if you made a video about your setup. I mean, how do you connect all the tools to each other that you can use them simultaneously? Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, I'll answer that question in a second. 4K will lead said, if you were to sell your website, how much would you sell it for? Yeah, so that's a good question. The answer is I would not sell it. Totally not interested in selling it because, as you guys know, it's like, hey, for me, I think that you guys can tell, but for me, genuinely, the mission and this goal that we're working towards of vibe coding an app until I make $1 million is that's what's driving me. And, if somebody came and they just said, hey, I'll give you $1 million for ViewCreator, honestly, I would probably turn it down because the mission and actually achieving this goal, that to me is worth more than that, if that makes sense. Like, just being able to have something that I can work on, that I wake up every day to pursue, it has so much value to me. And with ViewCreator, we have that. And with ViewCreator, that potential is there for this to be an incredibly successful product. And for me, it genuinely is not about the money. It's being able to create something that we can actually turn into something. I think it's incredibly meaningful. It's giving me a ton of meaning in life. And I'm just going to pursue it until I can't anymore. Oh, YRT said, I understand, cool idea. Day by day, this app is really becoming something big. This should be a document series on Netflix, to be honest. Thank you, man. AMR said, hey, from Egypt, I just entered the live stream. What advice for a software engineering using vibe coding for selling goal full productions software? I mean, what's your question? Because I would, just my general recommendation with vibe coding is that it is 100% the future. People say they call it vibe coding because that's just the term that's used for it mainly now. But the thing is that it really is just AI-driven development. That's what it is now. And I think that the sooner that you can wrap your mind around, okay, this is the direction that software engineering is headed, and I need to, like, the only way that you can get really good at something is if you practice, right? And for years, I've been practicing coding with AI for years. So essentially, the way that I develop, the way that I program, totally, focuses on this aspect, right? It's, okay, we need to fix this. Fix this error in the View Creator UI. But if you guys are new here and you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're live pretty much every day, so. The Gato said, I agree with you. My dream is to be fully working on my SaaS and not only be financially stable from it, regardless of the amount that I don't care, but to be able to work on something I love, priceless. 100%. 100%. Yeah, the Gato gets it. Yeah. And, some people, I think when you tell them that and you're like, yeah, like the money's not really driving what I'm doing. They're like, I even saw somebody yesterday when I told chat that they were like, sure, man. And yeah, like, I think that if you guys spend more time with me, you'll kind of get to know me a little bit. And like, I just genuinely want to make the most out of my life, and I don't want to waste it. I don't want to, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to be somebody that's lazy. I want to be somebody that's disciplined. And even after I finish up this morning's stream, literally as soon as I finish up, I'm gonna walk outside. I'm gonna put on my running shoes first. I'm gonna walk outside, and I'm gonna use my Apple Watch. I'm just gonna tell Siri to start a outdoor run workout, and I'm gonna run for 4 miles. And that's how I'm going to get my day started. And right now it's 5:47 a.m. I've been up for over an hour. And most people my age are still asleep, and most people not even my age are still asleep. And I'm not asleep. I'm wide awake, and I'm pursuing my mission, and I'm finding incredible purpose in my mission as well. Incredible purpose. All right, so this task did just start up, so we should be able to go to start free trial and test this out. Oat said, I am 5 years experienced developer, and I can easily see that there is no more going to be junior mid kinds of titles for development branches. There's only going to be prompt engineering variations. Yeah, probably. Yeah. And what's interesting is I worked with a couple juniors, and these junior developers, they were fellow developers that were kind of same level of experience, right? And I was working alongside them, and I said, guys, I'm using AI, and you guys should too, right? Is what essentially I was like, you guys need to be using this. And they didn't want to use it. And I was just very surprised, because it was back when 01 had just come out. Okay guys, it looks like we fixed our error. Let's freaking go, guys. Let's go. All right, so that's huge. So as you guys can see from the title, our goal was to deploy the AWS Infra and solve the dev bugs, and we just solved one of them. After 49 minutes here, we were able to deploy that update, and it was an environment variable related issue. Tony, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you, man. Also, congrats on Ticket Cord. Looks great. Let's verify this now. And so this is going to, so this is going to redirect us to a Stripe checkout. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter, the test card. And we're just going to test the system completely. So this is the onboarding system with our new refactor. We just do a test card here. Go to subscribe. The redirect here may be messed up. I expect the redirect could be messed up just because the dev environment. Let's see. I think it's going to be messed up because Amplify also does not have what it needs. So it's going to sign up complete, confirming. So yeah, so this is an issue here. So this just literally just says confirming your subscription. All right, I'm gonna take a couple questions from chat. AMR said, how do you deal with the problem of losing the context after a very long shot in the project? Yeah, that's why you do like good documentation. So a lot of people have better thoughts than that. I've learned a lot along the way, and just creating like MD files. Like for example, I'll just show this to you. Like, hey, the changes that we just made, you know, like you can see, hey, you know, we were essentially using this updated diagnosis and fix MD file to work from. So we took that file and then essentially, okay, wait, hold up. This is working great. The sign up now works. The only issue is that now when I get redirected to this page confirming your subscription, it is not properly, it is literally just loading and continuing to load. Why is this happening? Review the API as well as the front end UI and figure out what is causing this. Okay. All right, Sam Stone, or Kilgore Trout, sorry, wait, we got a couple more chats. So Kilgore Trout said, I personally think we should write code from time to time because it develops brains. Yeah, Kilgore, so I think you have a point with that. I would also say though that the thing is that you're no longer gonna have to write the code in the future. You know, so I think it's important to continue to learn, to develop that understanding and that foundation for programming. But I do not think that, you know, in the future, people are gonna be writing a whole lot of code. So I think that it's important to be able to review code and to be able to understand it. But at the same time, you know, it's very easy to be able to look. I don't think that you're going to be needing to write it, but I do think that you have a point. Sam Stone said, have you seen the studies on AI don't make programmers as productive as they think and are causing lots of bugs? I've not seen that. I've seen a lot of studies that are negative on it. Yeah. I think Kilgore's got a good point. I think you either are a believer in the technology long term or you're not, and I am. I decided years ago that I was going to be a believer in it, and that's why we're here today. So I think that those that can adopt it early, you know, it's like, for example, once AI does get stronger, 100%, you know, we're going to be essentially like the people that can learn the workflows and have a brain that's able to manage the AI best. Like that's one thing that I notice is that people like will ask me, they'll essentially ask me like, hey, like how essentially do you do this? Like, what are your tips, right? And sometimes like I don't even have tips. It's just almost like that repeated practice thing. It's like muscle memory to me now at this point, right? It's like literally muscle memory. And you know, that's one thing that I've noticed 100%. It's just the muscle memory of it all. Good morning, Zakane. How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. The Gato said, I did a refactor yesterday that took me about 6 hours, but the AI detailed so well, everything step by step. Now it's solid, working 100% without AI weeks. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. As you guys know, I'm just getting my morning started. I will be live again at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about 4 hours and 7 minutes from now, I'll be live again for day 58 of Vibe Coding an App until I make $1 million. This is just essentially a new series that I'm starting where you guys can grind with me at 5 a.m. And we'll be able to knock out a couple tasks this morning. We already fixed the issue that we set out to complete about 53 minutes ago, which was this sign up issue that we were having, and now that's fixed, which is great. Yeah, Ultima, so to answer your question, so I have been in the startup and the business world since I was young. So I started very, very early. I was an investor early in my life. I started investing when I was 12 years old. I was kind of like a finance bro. I was a finance bro for sure. and I invested in some small businesses, and I invested in obviously like the stock market and stuff really early on. So I have savings, and it's put me in essentially a completely very unique situation for somebody my age. So I'm able to invest all my time and my money into BridgeMind and the mission that we're on now without having to make money, like right off the bat, which is pretty cool. Luke said, "Morning, man. Been enjoying the content. I like your mindset." Thanks, Luke. Yeah, really appreciate you saying that. XS, how's it going? All right, so now we need to take a look at the. Okay, wait, hold up. Use the AWS CLI. Use the View Creator profile on my computer to access it. I need you to take a look at the View Creator UI production, AWS Amplify build, as well as the View Creator UI AWS Amplify dev server. And I need you to take a look at the environment variables, as currently it's actually missing some. Study the @View Creator UI repository and list out all the environment variables that are needed for it to function. I think we're missing a couple. For example, the next public creator URL as well as the next public sponsor URL should be missing. But take a look and don't update anything, but just do a complete diagnosis and let me know what you see. All right. XF, I'm doing good. I woke up a little bit over an hour ago. Woke up at 4:40 a.m. this morning. Just getting started for the day. These streams, so this is a new series I'm doing. These streams will be hard capped at 60 minutes long because essentially this is going to be a completely different series. It's going to be completely separate from the main mission, which is vibe coding an app until I make $1 million. Obviously, we're working on View Creator in the mornings. Thanks, UID. Yeah, no, this is going to be a regular occurrence now, guys. Vibe coding at 5 a.m. This is a new series. You guys are going to see more of me. As you guys know, like you guys can tell, like I'm wide awake. This is normal for me. This is not like abnormal. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. And usually I spend time reading, writing, journaling. I usually spend some time in silence, kind of just meditating, kind of thinking about, essentially what I'm going to be doing. Like right after this, so in 3 minutes, so these are going to be hard capped at 60 minutes, but I'm about to go on a 4-mile run, and it's going to release a bunch of endorphins, and it's really going to help me like get ready for the day. And guys, like this is the mission that we're on, is that we are on a mission to be able to accomplish something great. And when you're trying to do that, you have to remember that your life needs to reflect what you're trying to accomplish. So, what I'm trying to accomplish right now is obviously going to be a difficult task, right? And it's going to be a mission that we're on for. This is not a short-term mission. This is a long-term vision that I have. And I'm going to have to structure my life around this mission. And one thing about structuring your life around this mission is that you have to keep not only your work life healthy, but you have to keep your mind healthy, you have to keep your body healthy. That means getting good sleep, it means working out. All those things are very, very important, almost as important as the work itself. So that's my 2 cents on it. But this morning, we actually were able to get this dev API sign up created. We're working on this error where essentially this is not redirecting. So we're just taking a look at that. It looks like it already did solve it. So it's found the issue and it's solving it. So it had an infinite loop in React's use effect hook. Okay. All right, so now it's going to redirect to the dashboard after 1.5 seconds, but we'll have to push that code. We'll test this, and remember guys, I'll be live again at 10 a.m., so 4 hours from now. But we'll push this. Siddharth asked, which tools are you using for vibe coding? I'm using Codex, Claude Code, and Cursor, all of them, and I'm on the max plan for all of them. All right, so we'll fix that. But yeah, guys, I have a hard cap at 60 minutes for these streams, so this is a new series I'm gonna be doing. Hope you guys liked it. I'll be live again in 4 hours.